There is no Mr. Carter yet, or I suppose Mr. whatever her surname would be. We are back, by the way. I realised I'd started a conversation. Anyway.
I'm sorry.
No. Maddie, you have been walking for some time since you left the bookshop. Your feet hurt. You're not really sure how long you've been walking. It seems an age. But as your sort of heart rate begins to slow and you begin to calm, the panic is fading, you find yourself standing outside the gates of what looks to be a large cemetery. It is one of the new cemeteries that have been built around London to ease the overcrowding on the old, small inner city cemeteries. One of these big, new, grand cemeteries built towards the edges of the city. You realise you've wandered far enough that you're now north in Highgate Cemetery, or at the gates of Highgate Cemetery. And
is the gates open or closed or locked?
The gates are open, and as you stand there, you can hear the caw as a crow settles down on the post of the gate, cocks its head to one side, and stares at you with black, beady eyes for a moment.
I cock my head just like it does, and I'm looking at it for a moment. I just watch it.
And then with a start, it flaps its wings and flies off. It's as if it heard
Which
something.
Way?
Into the cemetery.
I'm gonna follow it.
Okay. So you begin sort of walking down the main path of this cemetery between graves. At this point, mostly fairly new. This is a cemetery that's not been open for too long. I'm trying to remember how long it was. Yeah, I mean, it's been about 40 years since it's opened, so the oldest graves in there are about 40 years old. And it's not as overgrown as it will be in years to come, but there's already sort of some growth on some of the graves that are less well tended. And as you make your way through, there's not many people around. You can see a few people perhaps far off on the other side of the graveyard. But around where you are, it seems mostly quiet. And it's getting late in the day by now. The shadows stretching long from the trees. And yeah, you've been walking a while. It's not dark yet, but it'll be getting dark soon.
No, I'm going to realize the time, and then I'm going to turn around and leave the cemetery.
Okay.
I need to try to get back home before sunset.
Yes. As you do so, could I ask you to give me a listen roll, please?
A hard success.
Okay, as you walk back through the gates and back out onto the main road, you hear a sound behind you, just not footsteps. Stranger sound. You hear for a moment what sounds like the shifting and moving of earth. But perhaps it was simply your imagination.
I'm going to turn around to see what I might see. And I'm going to shake out my skirts to make sure they're not, dragging piles of dirt or trash around.
No, nothing to see. The only person within sight is you can see sort of like a few hundred yards away further into the graveyard, a young woman sort of laying some flowers at a grave. But nothing seems to be stirring. Everything seems to be fine.
Okay, I'm gonna walk quickly out of the graveyard to the street And I'm going to see if there is a carriage that might take me home.
Yeah, you can hail a hansom cab to get home, no problem at all. And as you step up to the carriage, you see the same crow sat atop the gate is watching you as you leave.
I will.
I mean, it might not be
nod.
the same one. It looks very similar. Don't know how good your crow identification skills are.
I don't know. But I'll nod at the crow and then I'll get into the hansom and head out.
All right. Meanwhile, back at Grosvenor Square, some indeterminate time before Maddie's little stroll reached its end, our investigators and their currently sedated captive return to the house of the London Esoteric Society. What would you like to do when you get back, and what would you like to do with your sedated prisoner?
I think the plan was to have him locked up in a cellar or something along those lines.
The issue is Miss Van Watts with us, Lady Van Watts? I'd assume so, and she would be able to tell us where to deposit the man.
Yeah. Irene can sort of point you to James, who will kind of looks a little bit bemused by these goings on. But I mean, it's not the strangest things that happen. They've got like the lowest level of the house does have various cellars on it. Everything from, they've got wine cellars and servants' rooms all down in the lower part of the house. So he says, you want to stash him in like one of the storerooms, or the wine cellar, or the china closet, or the coal cellar? We've got more cellars than them.
Which one has the best doors?
I guess the larder. It's got a pretty good door, I guess. Or the coal cellar, I guess. You're talking about a door to get out of, or just generally a nice door?
I mean, a door that we can close that he can't get out of without us wanting him to get out of it?
Oh, probably the coal cellar. Yeah.
Oh, well done. Let's dump him in there.
Yeah, let's keep him sedated until we can decide what we're going to do.
Sure.
Right. All right. So if you deposit him down in the coal cellar, and James locks the door and hands you like the coal cellar key, and there's a, shall I make some tea? Says.
Yes, I think tea is always a good idea.
Sure. And now what?
James, can I ask you something?
Yes. Yeah. Sorry. Yes.
No worries. Before you leave, does Miss Carter, has she been back?
No, not yet. She's not back yet.
Okay. So shall we? I think I'll. Does it seem suitable if I go? I'll do the round of the corner.
Pardon?
The round of the block at Nara.
You asking me?
No. I'm asking everyone.
Oh, good, good, because I'm only the butler. I do what the ladies of the house tell me to. I work for them. I'm not in charge.
Before we do anything, Morgan, you took quite a hit back there. Do you need any medical attention? Do you want me to check it over to see if I can?
It was
do something
rough.
about
Eh?
it?
Yeah, if you would like to, I took a good hit, but I don't think it's broken or something. But
I can just do a quick look over it and see what I can do about it.
okay,
Make sure it
cheers.
doesn't get worse.
Okay.
Keeper, is that a first aid one? Just
yeah.
a quick.
Yeah, if you want to give me a first aid roll, you're free to do so.
Ooh, that's a fail.
Yeah, you patchy up. It's not doing much. You're welcome to push this if you want. And
Well,
which means pushing on to apply medical with against his clear desire for you not to do this.
Ooh.
At the moment, you've not caused him any harm.
No, exactly. That's what I'm thinking. But I could always try. Depending on how we are with time, 'cause I can't really tell much about this. How long would it take regards medicine?
I mean, medicine is more, sitting down, giving a proper look over. If he lets you, getting out your doctor's kit and.
Well, I've got my doctor's stuff with me, so I can always make a start and see how quickly. I can just check over and see. I might run out of time, but if I'm lucky, you never know. So, should I give it a go? Medicine?
Well, Morgan, are you allowing him to?
Yeah, he's going to run off afterwards, but he can do it, no problem.
Every bit hit point helps. I shall just roll medicine and see. Yep.
Yeah.
that's
So
a
with more
success.
time, you are able to help him out and help him recover. Morgan, you regain 1d3 worth of hit points here. Welcome to the very generous medicinal treatment world of Call of Cthulhu.
/R 1d3.
Yes. So as Mortimer is busy sort of applying medicine, Franco, what are you doing?
I'm not thinking that trying to run behind Miss Carter makes a lot of sense on account that she's been gone for like an hour by now, or even longer, depending on how long our trip took. So I'd just go up on the. Where's Lady Von Watts right now?
Lady Von Watts has retired to her room. There's something she needs to do.
Oh, sure.
She's just got something she needs to look at. She's possibly getting ready for the party. You're not entirely sure. She excused herself and made her way upstairs.
So, I'd since the butler's making tea right now, I'd use the time to look around, familiarize myself with the place a little, and use the moment that I'm unseen by prying eyes to maybe look if I find something interesting.
Okay, so where do you say you're searching in particular? Just the house? Just
I'd start near the library, just looking it over, and then go towards we'd assume I'd take a clear I'd not go near Miss Van Watts' room, and I'm not gonna go near the kitchen area because I'm assuming that there's people there. that might see me, but otherwise I'd just wander around and
Okay.
under the guise of familiarizing myself.
Give me... I'm going to give me a spot hidden here. Trying to think what...
That'd be a hard success. If you want it extreme, I can do that.
Okay, so actually wander around. You can see... I don't know how much the ladies have redecorated since they took over the house. I don't know, would you have changed around the portraits and things on the walls, or is it still probably similar to how Sir John left it?
Maddie would not have made any changes because she had lived there for a few years, for about a year before his passing. So she didn't want to change it. But if anyone else had done so, then maybe they'd be small changes.
Okay. So starting sort of in the library, looking around, the books on the shelves, while interesting, are nothing particularly unusual. Lots of history, travel logs, that sort of things. There are display cases with artifacts from Sir John's various travels, a few bits of Egyptian stone, that sort of thing. Again, nothing that springs out as particularly weird or even particularly valuable. This seems to be just what's on display as decoration. So you move through the house. You see it's decorated. There's portraits of various family members from centuries and decades past, and you make your way through. You see different forms of dress. There's a sort of rather dashing gentleman in like a cavalry officer's uniform who possibly actually Sir John's father, it's old enough to be. There is no longer a cavalry sabre hanging underneath it. I believe that has been since removed since its use as stabbing. In fact, I don't think at this point there would be any weapons on display in this house. I think, given the amount of accidents that have happened. You can hear James and a couple of other servants moving downstairs, and you can hear probably you can hear Irene moving around upstairs somewhere where she has her rooms. But what you do find is as you move through into what appears to be like an office that's been probably used by Irene quite a lot recently, is a very solidly built safe. Like big,
Look it
expensive,
over.
modern for the time, safe.
This will take too long. I'm going to turn around, but keep it in mind that it's there. And just be downstairs, because I'm assuming that the tea's going to be done soon, and they will be looking for me.
Yeah. So as you wind your way back downstairs, Mortimer's finished his medical treatment. Morgan's feeling a tiny bit better. James brings in tea, along with probably some sandwiches. And would you like to do anything other than drinking your tea during this time? Or shall we pick up on Maddie's return?
I think we probably need to chat a bit, find out what's going on. Because, Mortimer, for one, it's certainly opened his eyes to what's been going on. Oh.
It's disturbing, isn't it?
Do you know what's happened? Do you understand everything that's happened so far in this?
No. No.
Neither do I. A lot of it doesn't make sense. I think we've made a mistake somewhere. I think, according to, I think it's Bidwell's journal, he found that cube in Australia.
Yeah.
He brought the cube back with him, and at some point he got locked up in a sanatorium. So,
the thing said he's in Yacoub. So Bidwell, right? So when he went to the sanatorium, is when it and him switched places, right? It came from your cup to him, and he went to your cup.
I think that happened before.
And then the thing that came from your cup is not able to communicate and do anything here, so it ends up in the sanatorium, right?
Yeah, so that's what I think has happened. It somehow they swapped places, their minds perhaps, and the butler, Henry Yates, working quite closely with him, would have noticed that he wasn't quite right, and may have been the reason he got sent to the sanatorium in the first place. And I think the records say it wasn't making much sense when he was in there. So we can assume the creature was still in him possessing him when he got released. And perhaps after the seance, the butler noticed something again. Because, according to Irene's vision, Bidwell fell over, and then Yates killed him. So I think it left Bidwell's body into the butler, and then as the butler, it killed Bidwell.
Which would then have been the butler, because...
Yeah. Because I think it doesn't jump bodies to the person who kills them. It just kills its previous host.
It's just like being like, okay, I'm going in your body, and so that you can't go around with that other body, do shit, I'm just killing you there.
I don't think it swapped bodies. I think it sort of booted him out, kicked him out, because Bidwell fell over.
I mean, Bidwell falling over was after the switch, wasn't it?
It could
and then
be. There's no
after the switch being killed, so that would mean that the butler being switched would mean the body needs to do something, right? Bidwell's body, if the monster isn't in Bidwell's body, it needs to be in the other body, and it's in the other body. What's in the body? It's just left. Is it either the butler, or it's empty?
I think it's empty. I think it
doesn't make any difference, right?
Exactly.
So why would you kill an empty body if it's the butler?
Maybe because he want to. There is maybe a residue, maybe a leftover of some memories that we could take over. Lady Irene could do things with her hands, so maybe she could take some memories, and that's why he killed her, because he knows that some people have
trace.
Yeah, to cover the trace. Actually, yeah, indeed.
And if Bidwell's dead, then he can't really come back.
He prevents Bidwell to come back, actually.
Because if he was brought back, we could possibly find out what really happened.
Well, I think this is all wild speculation now. Not that that's a problem, but I'm not sure how that helps us. I mean, we're not writing a story out of that, are we?
No, I don't think I don't think anyone would believe it.
Yeah.
I'm just wondering where this thing came from, if the cube itself's like a Pandora's box. And there's more.
Have we just gone mad?
It's not impossible.
I mean, we're believing it, and nobody would believe it, just like you said. Am I believing it?
I'm not sure I believe it. But
is there alcohol nearby? I'm probably needing a drink.
There is, I think, in fact, a drinks cabinet in this room, has been established by previous events.
Usually I would have asked, but I'm just going to grab whatever is there, not having any idea how good or bad the particular drink is, and just pouring some in my tea. I'm just wanting to put it back and then put it in the middle of the table.
One thing I'm not too happy about is the fact that we've got this creature locked up here in the same house as the book it's after. That is one thing I'm concerned about. We don't even know what's in the book. We'll probably have to chat to Miss Carter when she returns to find out what could be in the book that it's after.
Better would be. I mean, Miss von Watts is up there, but I'm not really daring to, enter her room while she's dressing up.
And she has a sword.
That on top feels like a dangerous prospect.
Yeah, I don't think it'll be a good idea to disturb her at the moment.
Well, where would we put him otherwise? Do you have an idea?
Not that I can think of.
I mean, I'd prefer a concrete casket, and then on the bottom of the Thames or something.
Or just Bidwell's dead. Yates is gone somewhere. Whether his body is still being animated by one of these things, and we've got two of them. The only way to find out is if we could find where Yates is and or at least his body.
Didn't it say something about that?
I think he's probably with the cube. What if there's more than one of these things and it's the second one, which is what we've got here?
That's scary.
What we could try and do is we could try and trick it into revealing where the cube is. It's still sedated at the moment. I can try and bring it round to something and keep it partially drugged. But the worry about that is whether it tries to jump bodies again.
I think that, if it could just randomly jump bodies, wouldn't it do that more often?
I don't think it's... it could have, but...
Hey, so as this conversation, you've made a pause of thought for a moment, you hear the rattle of a hansom cab drawing up outside the house. And, Maddie, you have, returned back to Grosvenor Square.
It's still
As the
not
sun
quite
is starting to go down.
Oh, I'm in a hurry. I will collect myself out of the car, or the cab, and I guess I had enough money on me to pay for the ride. I'll pay, and then I'll hurry inside, shutting and locking the door behind me, because once it's dark outside, I really don't want to be alone. And then I will go to the library.
Okay, so as you walk through into the library, I believe that's probably where you run into these guys, drinking tea and whiskey-infused tea.
As Miss Carter returns, I'll stand up. Good afternoon, Miss Carter. You made it back. Where did you run off to?
Tomorrow we need to go to the graveyard.
Which one?
The one of the newer ones. Which one was it?
Highgate Cemetery.
Highgate Cemetery.
Keeper? Is that likely the one where my wife is buried?
That is entirely up to you. She died less than 40 years ago, so it could be.
Could be.
Yeah.
Strange place to go. Why do you think we would need to go there?
I think we need to go. I need birdseed. James!
Yes, Miss Carter?
Have we any birdseed?
I will go and check. I think we might have some. Think that could be birdseed. Yes.
Thank you.
Seed.
I should mention that that creature that was put in the straitjacket, we managed to get in the straitjacket, and I believe it's locked up in the coal cellar. Sedated at the moment, so we're trying to decide what we can do with it, or what we should do. This book that it's after, is there anything in it to do with gateways, or a way for it to travel home?
I'm going to go and pour myself a large helping of liquor and down it.
I think this thing's lying to us as to its reason it wants the book.
Wait,
Tell
you
me
think
if
so?
he's ready for something.
Oh, yes, and I'll, done the stuff that we weren't buying last time.
I should go get changed. I'm going to not answer any questions. Go up to my room, lock the door behind me, and change dresses.
Okay, are you changing into evening wear or just another day dress? Is this...
Evening wear.
Okay, yes. You can hear the sounds of Irene rummaging around. It sounds like she's also, getting changed into evening wear ready for the party.
Wonderful.
I should really check that the creature, let's call it, still sedated. Keeper, would I have any idea how long it would have been sedated for?
Make me a medicine check. This is going to be hard because you have never sedated a person possessed by an alien life force before.
So is that the purple one then?
No, that's just the normal one. It just means you've got to... Hey!
Nice.
You suspect extreme success. You suspect, given the dose you gave it, that it should probably be about... within the next half an hour, it'll probably be starting to wake up of its own accord.
I'll probably... I think I need to sedate that thing again to make sure it stays asleep. Because it'll be waking up soon. So, but the other thing is, I'm guessing we didn't put a bag over its head or anything along those lines, or stop it from being able to see, Keeper?
Did you?
We didn't at the time. I'll assume we haven't.
In which case you did not, no.
Okay. Has Franco got the key? Was he handed the key then?
Yeah, I haven't.
Yes, if possible, just
Sure.
if you want, wait outside the coal cellar. I'll go in. I'll sedate it and see if is James about. Or
James is currently rummaging around through the pantry looking for birdseed, but if you'd like him, he can be around.
Chances are we'd see him on the way to the coal bunker anyway.
Yes.
Chances are we got to go through that way.
Yes.
James, do you have some sort of sack that can, like a small bag that can cover someone's
sack.
head?
Yeah, sack. I'm still looking for birdseed.
Keep at it.
Do you need anything else whilst I'm looking?
No, you're doing a
Sack,
fantastic job.
Birdseed. Polly's got dinner on. Are you in for dinner tonight?
I don't know. I think we might be going to some sort of party this evening.
Okay, shall I have some cold cuts and stuff in case there's a change of plan?
Definitely best to be prepared for it, just in case.
It's brilliant, excellent, thank you. I'll get on that.
And we'll head to the coal bunker. Well, not coal bunker, it's cellar, sorry.
Yeah.
And hopefully it's still sedated. I think
it is, yes, it's still lying rather haphazardly on a heap of coal where you left it. The straitjacket now smeared with black dust from the coal.
Yes. Franco, we didn't actually search it, did we?
I didn't think we wanted to open the straitjacket to search it.
We might... It's going to be sedated for a bit longer. I can sedate it now, and we
Yeah.
can search it and then secure it again.
Okay.
If that makes sense.
I'm gonna go and grab Mr. McCrashley.
Yeah, probably
because
best, just in case.
he's a bit stronger than the two of us. And I'll run up the stairs again.
And I'll step outside the coal bunker on the off chance it wakes up. Well, actually, to be fair, I could just sedate it anyway. It's still sedated, so I will just resedate it to make sure it stays asleep for a lot longer.
Okay. So yeah, Franco, you head upstairs. Morgan, have you been up to anything whilst they left you, or just?
No, just waiting that the guys are coming back up. So
Morgan, can you come down just in case as backup? We're gonna search the guy.
okay, no problem.
Thanks. And I'll just turn around and the entire way back down.
Yeah.
So.
It's almost tempting just to finish this creature off.
I think so too, but then again...
You can't, if we do that, we can't undo it.
There is another problem, Doctor. If we do that, we don't have any clue if the creature is going to try to possess one of us.
Do we really want the risk of it possessing someone in this house?
No. No.
That's what I'm worried about, especially, I think, Keeper isn't the carriage driver that we've seen, because I don't think we've been introduced to him, but he's, well, Franco's
You've
met
been
him.
introduced to him only as Bo, the massive guy who looms over Franco.
So, yeah, it's like their carriage driver would be a dangerous one to be taken over by that thing. I think at the moment I'm not comfortable with killing anything or anyone, but it is an option. It's easy enough for me to give too much of a sedative and it'll kill it. I'll just sedate it for now, but it's an option to consider. I'd rather not do it without everyone else being aware of it. Because I'd rather not just kill this and leave a body here. But yes, I'll sedate it and see about checking its pockets or searching it for any clues as to where it came from or where it hangs out.
Okay, as you start searching through this sort of filthy clothing,
This fragrant person.
it is highly fragrant. As you searching through, like underneath the jacket, there's a vest, and underneath that it appears to be like a torso wrapped in layers of newspaper for added warmth. You feel a little scuttle of lice crawling across your hands, and there's a little rustle of movement. On their person, there's not really much to be found. They don't appear to be carrying any money or any forms of sort of identification or address. There is, however, a key tucked up into a pocket.
What sort of key does it look like? Like a house key or a room in like an inn or a...
Probably a room. Maybe. It doesn't look to be a very elaborate lock. Like, it's a very basic key, whatever it is.
Yeah.
It's a cheap lock, a cheap door.
Like someone's just hired a room in the equivalent of an inn or somewhere to stop the night.
If even that, yeah. Like a... Yeah.
Well, if I end up finding the key, I'll pass it to Morgan anyway, because he's the PI. Is this key?
Other than that, don't think he'd be carrying anything else really on his person for that trip. Most notably, he doesn't appear to have any money with which he would be planning to buy the book off you with.
I know, that's something I was thinking of. But there you go. We'll probably redo the straitjacket, but I also want to put the sack over his head so he cannot actually see. The idea, well, what I'm thinking is if he jumps bodies, at least that'll make it a bit difficult for him if he needs to see the person whose body he jumps into.
True. Probably a good idea.
Or he might be able to do something else we don't know.
Need to warn the household to avoid this place while we are away.
I think they got that message when we dropped them in there.
Yes. Very true. At least we got a key. We just need to search and see if we can find where this key belongs to it. But I think, important thing now, probably need to get ready for this party, but at least we have a lead. We can just try and find someone matching perhaps Yates's description. Might be the best one to go for.
Probably best, yeah. This doesn't look like a lock of a bank vault or something, so I'm assuming that could be any door in any small little shack.
Could be. Sort of place that doesn't ask questions, just gives you a room. But it's something, and I think I really need to start getting ready for this party if everyone's going to it.
Yeah, let's go do that. So how do I start wearing this thing again?
You'll work it out, don't worry.
So, yes, do you still intend to attend the party, given everything that's going on and the captive in your basement?
Seems like it.
Okay. In which case, you have time to attire yourself in your best or almost best, depending on how good your best is.
And have a wash as well.
Yeah, have a wash. Make sure you're not carrying the smell of anything you've encountered today with you. And Irene descends the stairs looking quite magnificent. She's... I need to be on the lookout for some professional opportunities at this party, sort of seances, so perhaps if I have some people I need to talk to and you she points to Mortimer. It's your sister's party, so I'm sure you've got plenty of people to be talking to.
Unfortunately, very likely number of people who'd like to talk to me.
Yeah, so if it may be that I have to leave early, but
no problem at all. Has Lady Irene still got a sword on her?
For this event, I think probably not. This is probably a no swords sort of do.
Just thought I'd ask.
No. But if anyone would like to carry any kind of weaponry with them, now is the time to tell me. You're trying to smuggle anything into this party.
I'm not carrying any weapons. Nothing tucked in. I mean, other than hairpins.
Yes.
Might have a couple of hairpins.
Yeah.
And I've got one thing tucked into my other clothing.
Yes, but obviously not a weapon.
Not a weapon. Well, I mean, I've used them as weapons before.
So apart from Maddie, who else is carrying a lethal weapon to this party?
I'll probably just be bringing my doctor's bag with me as such, I won't be bringing my gun, but I will have probably scalpels or whatever things you're likely to find in one of those.
Okay.
I'll have a brass knuckle in one of my pockets. can be useful sometimes.
Okay. So, with all this gathered and all your equipment, and finally attired, you head out across the city to the house of Mortimer's sister, Lady Catherine. Specifically, I keep forgetting surnames and trying to call everyone Grey. It's Ward. Lady Catherine Ward and her husband, Lord Henry Ward, who are tonight celebrating their 25th wedding anniversary, I believe. Or am I getting too many years? 10th.
10th.
That's far too many years. Look, I can't count. 10th wedding anniversary. Like, she's clearly not that old. She is now mortally insulted by what I've said, and I am very sorry. Her 10th wedding anniversary.
Keeper has been disinvited to the party.
Yes, I am no longer invited. You are on your own. But as your carriage pulls up on the gravel outside, and you can see the lights streaming down out of the front door of the house, you can hear music playing. I think actually this might be a good point to go to break, and then we'll pick up as the party begins. So we'll see you all in around 10 minutes' time. Welcome back. So, before the break, our investigators were visiting cemeteries and dealing with sedated captives in their coal cellar. Now, they are attending a party. This makes so little sense, and I love it. So as you pull up outside Blackwood Hall, there's staff waiting to take coats, and Lord and Lady Ward are there to greet their guests. And you see both of them standing there. Lord Ward's he's also relatively young. Like, they've only been married 10 years, as I was reminded before the break. Very handsome man. In his early 40s. A little older than the picture I've got there. But next to him is his rather dashing looking wife, Lady Catherine. Dressed up in her evening gown and excitedly greeting her guests. "Oh, I've not seen you for ages. This is splendid, darling. Splendid." And then as she looks over, "Mortimer! Mortimer, darling!
How are you, Catherine?"
"Oh, splendid, splendid. You came!"
It has been a busy day, but how could I miss this?
I was beginning to worry you wouldn't. I feel like I've not heard from you in weeks. How's the bookshop?
It's picking up. It's interesting. Got a few interesting books in. There's an interesting one I got from Russia, I think. It's a bit of a strange one. I've not translated it yet, though.
Oh, well, when you have, if you've got a copy spare, send it over, because my Russian's just not that good.
Yes. Well, I can give you a copy of the book if you want. I've brought one with me.
Oh, that would be lovely.
And I'm working on the translation now.
And so Henry is starting to getting a little touchy about the size of my library. I've claimed a whole extra room for it. I think it's the perils of having a book dealer for a brother.
Very true. I think this book is called, I'm not sure whether I have the pronunciation right, my Russian's not particularly well. I think it's called Vojna Mir or something. Vojna Mir.
What is that in English?
War and Peace.
Oh, that sounds very vague.
It is.
Could be about almost anything.
Very true.
Is
I'll
it a
work
quick
on a
read?
translation. No. It's meant to be quite a good book.
Well, when you've translated it, give it over. But,
I think it is from 69.
well. Yes.
But, definitely. How are the kids doing?
Oh, they're doing very well. I've sent them to bed with Nanny. They were so eager, they wanted to stay up, but it's a little late for them.
Is.
Yes. But you haven't introduced me to your companions here. I see you.
Sorry. This is
guests.
Miss Carter. I believe she is the grandniece of Sir John Wallace.
Yes, that's correct. Pleasure to meet you.
And,
A pleasure, Catherine Ward.
And this is Franco Bernice and
Pleasure.
Morgan McCrashley.
McCrashley, I see.
Nice to meet you.
Pleasure to meet you too. We've not met before, have we? Your name
But then-
seems somewhat familiar.
Maybe it could be. Yes, indeed. My father has a domain in Edinburgh.
Yes. I thought it sounded like a Scottish name. Well, it's an absolute pleasure to meet you too. Absolute pleasure indeed. Welcome.
And how are you, Lord Henry Ward?
Very well, Mortimer.
How's the party
Please,
going?
No need to the Lord. We're family after all.
Thank you.
And, this is practically your house.
True. It is a very nice house.
Yes, indeed. Well, come on in. Yes.
And I wander in.
I follow behind kind of quickly because I want to get in from outside.
Franco will try not to stare at everything, but probably fail. It will be pretty obvious that he's not used to that sort of wealth.
And as you walk in, you can see various people milling around. I think definitely Mortimer, you recognize a fair few of these people by sight, if not by you have to put a name to them. They're the sort of people you'd have seen around at your sister's parties before. Morgan, I think you'd recognize a few people here and there. And maybe a couple of faces perhaps are familiar. In particular, you do see Cecil lurking over in one corner, drink in hand, your lawyer. And I'm going to offer everyone here an opportunity for a spot hidden if you would like to be looking around at people.
That's an extreme success for me.
Okay. So
I think those 4 points I'll give you 2.
Well, in which case, Maddie, you spot a man standing sort of partway across the hall, sort of talking to a young woman who is staring directly at the four of you with quite a surprised and shocked look at his face. Unfortunately, I don't believe you have ever met this man, so you have no idea who he is. But you can tell, to be fair, that he definitely recognized someone standing over in your direction and looks quite surprised. Mortimer and Franco, I think Franco spent the look there. You don't catch the moment of him spotting you, but you do spot Dr. Nathan Lake, the administrator of Albrook Asylum, standing partway across the room talking to a young woman.
Oh, how convenient.
I won't know who that is, though.
No, you weren't there that week. I keep forgetting who's there which week. You don't. In which case, Franco, you're the only person who actually sees this man and also knows who he is.
Oh.
I'm too much looking at this lad because I'm scared he's doing something foolish. So
Well,
Eyes on Franco.
yeah,
Make
eyes
sure
on
he doesn't-
Franco.
Don't let him steal the silverware.
I'm not trying to steal silverware. I will just look at the man, notice he noticed us, and just like kick Morgan on the on the shin and be like, over there. This might be problematic.
Oh,
The doctor.
the doctor. And I come closer to you and I say, don't hit my chin. If you want to say something, just act normal. All right?
Oh yeah, right. Sorry.
Yeah. Like, just do like we are in proper conversation. And don't worry about the doctor. If he wants to cause a scene, we'll cause a scene as well. But I don't think he'll like it.
Okay. This is weird here.
Why is he staring at us? Who is he?
Oh well, he is the man that has the asylum with where Mr. Belfont is.
He's the other guy on the tape we heard.
Yeah.
Is that the person whose medical records you took?
Yeah, that's him.
Yeah, that's the person that knows that we check his medical records.
I should also mention something about this house. It's not something I believed before, but in light of what we've recently seen, this house is meant to be haunted. It's meant to be one of the most haunted houses in London. I'm not sure. I've never seen anything, and I've lived here for quite a while when I was growing up.
Don't think that would have maybe been information that we might have needed before we came here.
I need a drink.
It's probably not a good idea to wander around. I don't think it's... I've heard a few stories, but yeah, let's all get a drink.
Dr. Mortimer, remind me we need to have a talk about something later.
I'll remind you. We need to talk about something later.
I'll get a drink.
Okay, so are you all sticking together as you get a drink, or are you sort of dispersing more into conversation with other people?
I am, as I was escorted essentially by 3 men, I am expecting one of them to bring me a drink. I will wander around just a little bit. Maybe look at the portraits or anything that might be on the walls.
I will
Okay.
ask you what you wish to drink. Miss Carter, do you wish something to drink?
Yes, please. Doesn't matter what.
Something hard?
Sure.
All right. I'll bring you the best. And I'm going to get the best scotch they have at the party.
Okay, so as you are fetching Maddie a drink, and Maddie is sort of wondering, looking at portraits. Franco, what are you doing?
Well, I will go and get me a drink, that I have something in my hand that I can, hold for courage. And I will try to just mingle a bit with the people on the party, trying to not be too obvious about not knowing how to behave here. And try to use it as a training exercise, basically.
Okay, I think I'm going to ask for, unless a better option is offered, a charm roll here, essentially. That's the best I can manage for your best, being on your best mannered behaviour and practicing your manners.
Oh,
So, what are you doing wrong?
I'll probably be staring a lot. And it will not be looking polite.
So, yeah, you come across as someone who's just quite out of place, just staring
very
at
obvious.
the chandelier, the portraits, the wealth of the dresses, the suits on offer, the pocket watches, everything. And also, like, oh, like that's a person that I could do with getting an interview with. Like, they're like
That's
a well-known
that's dangerous,
person.
yeah.
Like, oh, I should no, like best behavior. I can't go up and
Yeah, it'll be very obvious, yeah.
Obvious that I could see it as well when I bring the drink back to Miss Carter.
94, so yeah.
Yeah. It's obvious that he's a bit awkward and out of place as you return. Maddie, as you're looking around at the portraits, I'm going to ask you to make me a spot hidden here, because it's my best option for asking for a
I'm
roll.
going to spend the 3 points. I got a success.
Okay, so you see that most of the portraits you pass by do appear to represent, relatives of Lord Henry Ward. There's a definite resemblance in the faces, like, that must be a Ward. That must be a Ward. But as you're looking at them, you notice, like, the actual decoration around, like, the fireplace in the room has a crest carved into it, which doesn't match that of, like, the Wards. And in fact, I think, let's make this easy. There's lettering carved into the stonework, and it says Davenport rather than Ward. But as you're looking at this, and Morgan returns over to you with a drink, and Mortimer, your sister looks like she's trying to get your attention, trying to steer you away for a moment.
Okay, I'll head to my sister.
Where did you find that man?
Crashly.
Yes.
It's been a very strange couple of days.
I
think he's a private investigator, but
I'm sure I've seen him before somewhere.
I think he's helping a group of people known as the London Esoteric Society.
I think
they're...
Von Watts, the medium. I've met her.
Lady Irene, yes.
Yes. Look. Just be careful, like...
Always.
I saw him a few years back, kind of... She gives her, like, a look around and, like, pulls you a little further into a corner.
Yes, I'll follow.
Look. Are you sure he's not following us?
I don't think it... Well, no, I'm sure he isn't. He's on a separate case.
Okay. Because... you know how I said, we'd put all that behind us when I married Henry?
Yeah.
There was, one last job I helped a friend out with. You don't need to know the details, but essentially... About halfway through, I found out that someone was watching us. And I'm fairly sure that your friend McCrashley was the man that was watching.
I'll have to keep an eye on him then, by the look of it.
So...
do you know who do you think he was watching, if you don't mind me asking?
I don't know, he was just poking around, sticking his nose in where he really shouldn't have done. But, it was a... Look, it was a favour I was doing for Archie. Old Archie, you're named after him.
True. Thank you for the warning. I'm going to look into that and be a bit extra careful, because I don't want to give him any ideas to follow me or you.
No, not indeed. Yes, just mind how you go. And
Him being here is pretty much coincidental.
what about the Carter girl, eh?
Miss Carter?
I mean, Wallace was fairly. He came from a good family, and I believe she was the heir, right? I mean, there must be some money in that estate.
There could be. I don't know a great deal about the families.
Well, and she is a Miss Carter, right?
She is.
Well, there you go, brother. It's high time you
You're
settle
always
down.
doing this.
Yeah, I'm just. Someone needs to carry on the Davenport name. Can't leave it all to the wards.
I'm not quite ready to move on just yet.
Well,
Give it time.
time is fleeting, brother. Time is fleeting.
That it is.
Now, I had best go sneak
I do
out
have
to my
a quick
guests.
question. Do you know if there's any members of the Vane family here tonight? It's a name I've heard recently. I'm trying to place it.
Oh, the Vanes. So, Archie I mentioned a moment ago?
Yes?
So his sister married a Vane.
Ah, yes.
So that's, that's second cousin Archie's sister. Well, I suppose she's second cousin as well. Married a Vane. I don't need to get into the details, but like many degrees of cousin. But Lucinda's here tonight. She's a lovely young woman. In fact, actually, perhaps a little young for you. But a delightful girl. She's over there talking to, oh God, the god-awful American Quincy. The Carlisle man. Awful man. But I should actually go and extricate her.
I may say hello to them later.
But yes, over there. And he points out, she points out a young woman with brown hair, sort of standing partway across the room.
Okay. I'll better go and mingle and be sociable this evening and see what my friends are up to.
Oh, yes, indeed. Yes, indeed, darling.
I shall wander off.
So, as you wander off, Morgan has brought drinks over to the others.
Maddie is going to take her drink and then slowly, not hastily, make her way around over to Cecil, however, Mr. Abernathy.
Oh, Maddie! Oh, sorry, didn't see you there. Lost in my own world.
How are you doing?
Doing fine.
Were you able to speak with your intended's father?
Not her father. He's away, but I spoke with her uncle, Lord Grey.
And did you get the blessing? I know that you.
No. He kind of he didn't say no. He said he'd have to think about it.
Are you still going to ask her tonight?
Well, I was going to say no because I'm waiting for Lord Grey's blessing. But you see that? He points over towards where the woman with brown hair is talking to quite a tall gentleman. That man over there is Quincy Carlisle. Apparently he's the heir to some ridiculously wealthy American family. Up there with the Carnegies. But I'm fairly sure he intends to ask Lucy to marry him, and I don't think he's going to wait for her father's blessing.
Well, then you shouldn't.
Do you really think that? I mean, that, like, should take the chance?
Well, so, are you actually courting her?
yes.
Or is he courting her?
I mean, I thought I was courting her. I thought I'd made my intentions quite clear. I mean, visited and went up to Vane House. And...
Did her mother and father seem to approve of you?
They didn't disapprove. They didn't. They don't know a lot, the Vanes. But yes, you're right. I will ask her. Just one. Yes. Yes. Wish me luck.
The best of luck. I will stand here and watch. If you need anything, my friends and I will be glad to help.
Yes, maybe I'll. Yeah. And he walks off, like quite like purposefully towards Lucy.
I'll wander back to where everyone else is, if everyone's grouped up in the same area.
Franco's just walking around. If anybody has caught him, then he'd be in the group. But otherwise, he'd just try to get into a conversation with people.
And I think Morgan's probably keeping an eye on you still.
Yeah, I will avoid that you speak to somebody, actually. Just stay around, boy. Come on, laddie.
Oh.
Well, I've just been told who is here from the Vane family, if you remember those records. Something about the Vanes.
Yes.
I believe one of them is just over there, young lady, and I'll just point her out.
Oh, interesting.
Apparently, I might be distantly related to her family somehow. I don't understand how all these families interlink, but there seems to be some sort of link through second cousins or something.
Aren't all rich people married to each other generally?
Could very well be. It's confusing. I lost track part way through what my sister was telling me about who was linked to who.
I'll
Understandable.
get you a family tree at some point.
It's all confusing.
So that lady there. Okay.
I think she's probably still talking to that American my sister had pointed out as well. Because this would be sort of overlapping what's going on.
The two of them look like a pair, don't they? I mean, or at least them being like.
I don't think my sister likes the gentleman that she's with. Apparently he's an awful American.
Oh, so.
I believe he's probably quite wealthy.
Should somebody sabotage the guy then? I mean, it's not like I'm stealthy over here. Everybody was looking at me like I was like some kind of circus animal. I mean, I'm wearing good clothes, but
We could do something. I don't know whether we talk to the lady or the gentleman. Well,
At this point, you see sort of Quincy and Lucy sort of part ways as Cecil's making his way over to talk to Lucy. And maybe you probably return to the others in time to hear them talking about awful Americans.
I'm an American. Am I awful?
No, as we're talking about that one over there. And I'll point him out, actually.
Mr. Abernathy, my lawyer, is actually going to propose to Lucy tonight.
Ooh. Lucy Vane, is that?
Miss Vane.
Good luck to the guy. Are you friends with this gentleman, Cecil?
He's my lawyer. I sort of inherited him as a lawyer because of my uncle's passing, but he's a decent man.
Yeah, you know he gets on quite well with Irene. Like I think she considers him a friend. But yeah, you did inherit him.
I'm just going to watch their interaction while they.
Yeah, I'm just watching it as well. I'm just seeing them.
So you watch as he sort of stares right towards like the terrace. You see them sort of talking. You can't hear what they're saying from this distance. It's hard to entirely read their body language, but
Does she have a fan?
you know what? Yes, she gives it a little flutter.
Is she using fan language? Because I know fan language.
Probably not, because there's no one there to talk to with it. But yeah, you see as she kind of like her folded fan down by her side, you get the impression she's a little surprised by whatever he's saying. A few more words are exchanged. She kind of gives a slight gesture and nods her head over towards Lord Grey, who I am actually now officially renaming Earl Grey because I can't not. The Earl Grey. Standing over to one side of the room. Cecil gives a nod. And then you watch as a third figure is walking over towards the two. And this third figure is your good friend Dr. Lake. As he moves forwards and places his hand on Lucy's arm, exchanges a few words with her, and sort of steers her away from Cecil.
I'm actually going to wander over as well. I'll wander over to. Is Lucy like a lady or Miss? I'm not sure.
You don't know that she has any like nobility titles. As they're wandering over, maybe a listen roll. Let's see over the party chatter what you hear as you get close to the pair. Very little. There's a lot of hum of conversation around you as you see sort of Dr. Lake steering Lucy away towards Earl Grey.
I'll just wander over and see if I can intercept them.
You can do, yeah.
Oh, good evening, Miss Vane, is it? Sorry, I don't believe
yes.
we've been introduced. I'm Dr. Mortimer Davenport, Lady Catherine's brother.
Oh, it's an absolute pleasure to meet you. I think we have uncles in common, maybe? Cousins? I get awfully confused. Lucinda Vane. This is my good friend, Dr. Lake.
Oh, pleasure to meet you, fellow doctor.
Up from Brent. Ah, absolute pleasure.
Do you have
he shakes your hand.
Yeah, I'll shake his hand as well.
Yes. What's your speciality?
I was going to ask you exactly the same thing.
Yes, indeed.
My specialty tends to be emergency care. I served in India, so a lot of what I had to deal with was on the front lines, treating, well, it's life before limb, isn't that what we go by? We do what we can to save their lives, but I did deal a lot with unusual, more exotic things as well. For example, there's tigers, there's unpleasant snakes, a few other
I
things.
can't say I've ever dealt with a tiger. I am actually practicing as an alienist these days. I run a sanatorium down in Brighton, but previously I was the Vane family doctor. I still come up to visit and ensure the health of the family.
Oh,
But
interesting choice.
well, it's fascinating work.
You must meet some interesting people.
I do, yes. Yes.
I actually have a small shop. As well as practicing, I sometimes do the odd talk at the university about unusual, more exotic medical issues, we should say, relating to my time abroad. But I actually have a small shop which sells books. I think it used to be Blake's Books, but I've recently taken over.
I don't have much time to do book shopping, I'm afraid. I'm not familiar with the place, but well, I'm glad to hear that. I'm very, very happy for you.
Miss Vane, do you have any interesting interests?
Oh,
Hobbies?
I like to collect flowers, and I do a little watercolor painting.
It's always good to keep busy.
Yes, so very good pursuits for a young woman.
Definitely. I should leave you and carry on. I'm trying to see if there's anyone else I recognise here. There's some interesting characters here this night.
Yes.
Do you recognise many of them?
Well, I mean, I know your sister by reputation and her husband, obviously, and I'm good friends with Earl Grey, and I know a few others by the reputation. I mean, that's, I believe, the medium. Von Watts, do you know her?
I've heard the name, but I'm not that familiar with her myself. I don't tend to take much notice of mediums. I tend to see them as charlatans.
No. Yes.
It's not something I put much faith in. Medicine and science, that's what I believe.
Exactly. Let's not put faith on anything we can't see and touch.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Wondering, Miss Vane, your family hasn't got an interest in exotic books by any chance?
Oh,
It's just wondering because I actually import books from abroad. Sometimes just unusual artifacts.
My aunt had something of a library, but not particularly. No.
No.
But father is very interested in shooting, and mother loves cards.
Cards.
Oh yes, a good game of bridge with her friends. And
cards. Yes.
cards.
I should really leave you both and wander.
I'm sure your bookshop is very exciting. So.
It certainly is. But, I should leave you to enjoy the rest of your evening. Good night, and hope to speak again soon. I shall
Yes, lovely to meet you.
off.
Come along, Lucy. We'd best be getting you home. I'm fine. I'm not even at all tired. Come. It's late for you. You shouldn't be up this late. Yes, Maddie.
Is there any dancing going on?
Yeah, there's probably like at this point there's like talking and stuff around drinks table and probably like over in the ballroom bit. I'm not sure what the fashionable dances were in 1887. I forgot to look this up, but there
That's
would be some
fine.
dancing going on.
I think I would have kept an eye on what was going on over there, but then I would have gone after Mr. Abernathy and told him you should at least invite her to one dance before she leaves.
No, I think she's look. I thought she seemed happy with it, but she said we'd have to get permission of the Earl Grey. Apparently, he seems to have a lot of sway over her family, and then that doctor comes swooping in, and like, I don't know if I get the impression he doesn't like me very much. If I'm being entirely honest, he said something about making sure she got home and had her medicine and blah 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 blah, and yeah, I think they're leaving.
Well, you'll have to give me her address so we can invite her to tea one day.
Yeah, I mean the Vanes have a house north of the city, just up past just up towards Highgate Way, near the cemetery.
Okay, thank you. Perhaps you should try to get in good with the Earl then?
Yeah, yes. I'm going to go, I guess, speak to him. Maybe he's got some legal matters that I can help with. Does seem awfully like bribery, but she's very shy in public things, but she's lovely, such a lovely young woman. Like, she's not really a party sort of person, but to be honest, neither am I. Like, she'd rather go for like lovely walks in nature and talk about butterflies, and she does these lovely little watercolors. They're wonderful. They really are.
Oh, watercolors are very beautiful, but you should do something. You deserve a good woman.
Yes. Right, I'll go talk to the Earl then. Right. And he heads off towards the Earl. All right.
So the two are they leaving? They're looking like they're pulling up cloaks and stuff?
Yes, it looks like Miss Vane and the Doctor are preparing to actually leave.
I think nobody's gonna notice that I'm missing. And I would just, keep in little dark corners and try to follow him out. And, take a look, because I knew that Doctor and this woman seem to have caught the interest of the others. I just want to know where they're going.
All right. I think if you're trying to be stealthy here, let's have a stealth roll for snooping. Snoop.
Are you...
Snoop. So you realise as you're following him, as you're heading out, as your foot sort of crunches on the gravel. If you want to get close, you're going to have to really risk being heard here.
Yeah, I'm going to push that one.
Would you like to push this roll?
I'm going to push that roll. Roll 20 doesn't like me. Really not.
Okay. So you slip round towards the carriage. Your feet crunch on the gravel. And as they do, you hear Lucy's voice. What was that? And they go, I don't know. Benji? Check what that was. and stepping round the corner of the carriage. I think this is the second time in like 2 or 3 days that Franco has found himself face to face with a rather tough-looking carriage driver. This man is not as tall as Beau. He's not even as tall as you. But what he lacks in height, he makes for in, like, breadth and bulk. Sort of built like a bulldog. And he looks at you and goes, "Who are you?"
I'm just one of the guests. I'm taking a peek, another peek, breath of fresh air.
I recognise
It's a
that
lot of
voice. Veggie, grab him. It's the bloody guy who was at the sanatorium.
Okay.
And the big guy Benji is making to just like grab
Yeah.
hold of you, and you can hear
Dodge.
Lucy going, "Nathan, what's going on?" Yeah, give me a dodge roll here.
That one worked, right? The stealth couldn't work, but that one did. It's fine.
Wait. Yeah, no, it does work. Your success of dodge, you managed to dodge out the way as this big coach driver goes to grab you. You hear Lucy going, "Nathan, what are you doing? You could just go around grabbing people," and they're going, "Stay in the carriage. This man's dangerous."
I'll run off.
Are you running back up into the party or out into the grounds?
I think I'll run out into the grounds because I'm not hiding in the party. I tried that. That does not work. I'll hide in the grounds because that's where I can hide in shadows. That's what I know. That's okay. I mean, if I'm not, hitting stuff on the ground.
Yeah, no. You can see the grounds. You move off from the house. There's like a walled garden. There's some like ornamental lakes. It's got some very nice gardens. I think there's probably a few like torches and a few people actually enjoying the gardens on this lovely spring evening. But if you want to avoid all the people, there's like more sort of lawns and some sort of looks to be like a small graveyard mausoleum thing on the grounds off to one side.
Yeah, well, I will try to use the first thing to break off that they the like visual line, and then I'll just try to get any place where it would not be noticed easily.
All right, I'm gonna say give me another stealth check here for finding somewhere good to stay hidden. Now your luck comes through. You duck off behind some trees, out of sight of the rest of the guests for now. Meanwhile, back at the party, the rest of you would have seen sort of Franco head out after Lucy and Nathan left. But it's up to you whether you want to make anything of that.
I'd probably be nosy. I'm not being particularly stealthy. I'm just going to casually meander in that direction to see what's going on.
I'll follow because I'm worried about this laddie.
I don't... To be fair, I would recognise the doctor's name from the records and the recording.
I stay inside and where it's brightly lit and just people watch mostly. I'll interact with whomever, might ask me questions.
Okay, so Maddie's staying inside, and did you say the other two of you were heading out the front?
Yes, just
Yes.
wandering out the front to see where Franco's gone and what's going on with all that.
And Morgan, were you heading out as well? Or?
Yeah,
Yeah, just...
definitely.
Okay, so as the two of you head out, it's very dark out the front of the house, and you can hear, in the wake of Franco's disappearance, a bit of a kerfuffle coming from one of the carriages that's a short distance from the house. You can hear two voices, a man's and a woman's, that you, I think at this point, have heard enough from to pin on to recognise as being Lucy Vane and Dr. Nathan Lake. "What on earth are you doing? I don't know, but that man, him and some others, they were at the sanatorium at Elbrook the other day, and they broke into my office and stole records. I don't know who they are or what they want, but I don't trust them. They are, and I need to know what's going on. It could be dangerous. Yes, but you can't just ask Benji to go around grabbing people. It's not how things work. Look, you should get going. Like, it's late. All right. You need to explain everything to me about who these people are and why were they at the asylum? Sanatorium. Okay, why were they at the sanatorium? I don't know. It's something to do with Charles Belfont. Oh, that's weird. And this is now getting in the carriage, and the voice is becoming more faint. If any of you want to try and catch the tail end, make me a listen check. See how much you hear. No. You do not. And unless either of you are doing anything to stop it, their carriage... that was 2 rolls from 1 rather than... So yes, Morgan, the last snatches you hear as the carriage doors close is Nathan saying, look, we have to get home, but I promise I'll explain everything to you, and I'll take care of you. You know that, right? I know, of course. I trust you. And then the carriage rattles off. But you don't hear much more than that. And the 2 of you are left standing on the front steps of Vane House.
I turn to...
And there's no sign of Franco.
I turn to Doctor. Say, that one is dangerous. I can tell.
The doctor?
Yeah.
Apparently he's been her family doctor for quite a while. Before running an asylum.
Yeah, but it's strange that the 2 names came. Doctor, he's searching for Vane, and now he's taking care of the Vane.
That's what I'm concerned about. I thought the link might have been something in the house, like the family. Perhaps they had books or artifacts, something tied in with this, but looks like it could be something more than that. Looks like she could be the key. Any idea where Franco went to? He was out here somewhere.
Nope. I'm looking around to see if I can see him. Hey, and I'm not shouting, but I'll speak a little louder, like, "Hey, Franco! Franco! Daddy!"
Well, I'm not sure if Franco's still there. He might have gone further around, since there's been people outside. And he'd seen that Vane lady and this doctor, and that following them didn't help. He would try to talk up a conversation with some of the folks outside, and try to present like the young one in love, and trying to find out what his crush, who that is, and information, and where to send the love letters and stuff like that, and try to get their place where they would be that way.
So what exactly are you trying to find out here?
I'm trying to find out where they were likely to go, not knowing that address and stuff like that, not knowing that I think Mr. Davenport already knows.
Yeah, make me, I think, probably a fast talk roll here for like
That's something that I know how to do. Bullshit people.
This is a success. It doesn't take much to know that the Vanes have an estate up near sort of Hampstead Heath and Highgate to the north of London. They're not a particularly sociable family, but they're well known enough that people will say, yeah, Vane House, it's up that direction some way.
Not very social. It's not very sociable. That might be problematic if I have to get the letters in. Do you know who like servants that I could ask to deliver them up for me? Something like that.
I don't know they're servants.
I mean, you gotta be tricky with stuff like that, don't you?
Yes. No, I don't know him.
Oh. But thank you anyway. And I'll come forward and probably hear Morgan slightly shouting my name, and then wave and come over.
You're right, lady?
Yeah. Nothing happened. There was like some gravel on the street that I didn't see, got caught. I had to duck out and run. Not quite. I'm not used to sneak in these fancy shoes.
The doctor wasn't too happy to see you here.
No, he definitely wasn't. I mean, he doesn't. He knows that I wasn't the one that stole the stuff because I was with him the entire time. But at the same time, we were one group.
You did all turn up together, and when you left, his medical records were stolen.
It was kind of conspicuous.
We probably should get back and get in the party.
Well,
Sure.
As you turn to head back inside, Maddie, you've been sort of circulating round. Is there anyone in particular you're trying to talk to, or are you just circulating in the light?
Actually, I think I might like to try to talk to Lady Ward.
Oh, yeah, you
Ask
can
her
definitely...
about the haunted house.
Miss Carter, isn't it?
Yes.
Sir John's niece.
Mhm.
I only met him a few times. Very interesting character.
He is quite
I
eccentric.
was sad to hear of his passing. But, at least he lived a good full life. But how did he pass in the end?
Unfortunately, the estate was broken into, and it was a result of that he passed.
Oh, how horrible! That must have been awful. Darling, I can't
It
believe it.
hurts quite a bit. But
Look,
I heard Dr. Davenport told me that this place is supposed to be haunted, that he didn't really believe it, though.
oh, well, Mortimer, he's such a skeptic. Doesn't believe anything. I tried to get him to go into a seance a couple of years back, and he's like, oh, no. None of that nonsense, sir. But, I'm a little more open-minded. I do think, there might be something out there that's, more than we see or perceive. Well, this house has been in our family for a long while. Before my husband bought it a few years back. But
Okay.
it's well, there's a fair few stories. Tell me, are you a fan of ghost stories?
Sometimes. I've been to my share of seances and such.
Oh. Splendid. Yes, I was just talking to Lady Von Watts. She excellent medium.
Yes, actually, it was one of her seances that I've been to.
Yes. I was trying to actually arrange one with her, but it seems her calendar is awfully busy at the moment. But I was hoping to get her one here so she could, properly get in touch with the whatever might be residing in this house.
So what sort of things happen?
Well, there's the usual goings on. People seeing shadows moving on the main staircase. There's supposedly a few generations back a maid was locked in a wine cellar and died down there, unfortunately, and now her ghost still haunts it down there. It said if you go down there at night, you can hear her sobbing amidst the wine barrels. It's quite macabre, really. But you know how this is. A lot of these are perhaps a little salacious, but if we believe that half the many of the number of murders that had supposedly had happened in this house, then, well, that's an awful lot of murders. And an awful lot of people getting walled up or locked in cellars. But, yes, there's supposedly a ghost that haunts the main staircase, but I've never actually seen it myself. Have you ever seen a ghost?
Yes, actually, I have.
Oh, tell me.
I was walking through a park, and it looked like they were doing a memorial for someone, but they didn't speak. You couldn't hear anything that they said, and they just kept walking. And they didn't touch it was snowing, and they didn't leave footprints.
Oh, chilling. You saw this?
Yes.
What did you do?
I don't remember all of what happened, but I was quite scared and
I wonder.
tried to get home as quickly as possible.
Quite sensible, darling, quite sensible. Tell me, indeed, gives you a little pat on the arm. Now, your uncle was something of a historian, wasn't he? Are you already interested in that yourself?
Yes, actually, I do enjoy quite a bit of the historian stuff. Medieval things. I do a little bit of the Egyptian history.
Oh, Egyptian stuff.
So
I
it's
see,
not
I
my
see.
focus. It's quite entertaining.
Oh, I know. I read all things I read about in the papers out in Egypt. It's fascinating what they found, all these perfectly preserved tombs. Imagine all those things that have lain undisturbed for like century after century, now just coming to light. It's fascinating indeed.
Mm-hmm. Quite.
Sorry. I see my brother and your friends over. What are they doing one right now, out in the night?
I am not sure. Maybe they need a breath of fresh air.
Did you come to meet Mortimer then?
Well, that's a very good question. So I just returned actually to London yesterday.
Oh, only yesterday? I got the impression you two were more acquainted.
Well, that's very difficult to say. I was actually introduced to him through Lady Van Watts. And I needed some help with books. I always need help with books. So I quite enjoy books. An extensive library at home, as well as the museum's library that I can use as well.
Ah, yes.
So,
My brother's collection is quite splendid. He always sends me stuff from time to time. You should come by, visit, have a look through our libraries sometime.
that sounds wonderful, and I'd be glad to accept an invitation.
I rarely get the chance to meet well-educated young women. It'd be lovely to have someone to talk to.
Mm-hmm. Yes, well, I was quite fortunate that my uncle wanted me to assist him through the end of his life. He had sent for me from America, actually. So.
And how do you like it over here? Not tempted to...
I don't see myself
Head
ever
back?
leaving.
I've never visited the States myself. It's quite impressive in some places.
In some places, yes. In other places, it's quite dreadful.
You know, you should hear it. Anyway, I'd love to talk to you more, but I can see cousin Archie trying to get my eye, and it'd be quite irascible if he's left hanging for too long. But I will let you get back to your friends. Wonderful to meet you.
A pleasure to meet you as well.
You must call on me sometime.
I will.
She heads back over to Earl Grey.
And I shiver as she walks away because of the ghost stories and ugh.
So, Maddie, you are reunited with the rest of the group as they've returned in from their little expedition outside.
Well, that didn't work out as planned.
That was close.
What happened?
Well, I was trying to follow them because the doctor's kind of a suspect. So I was trying to follow them, but I'm not used to, walking around in shoes like those, and I made a lot of noise. So they tried to catch me, but I didn't want to let myself get caught, so I ran away. But that meant that they're now gone, and I don't know where to. I know where they live, where she lives technically. They have like a estate, but if they go there, then we might be able to follow. But otherwise,
I think that's where they went. I think she was being taken home.
oh,
Apparently the doctor, used to be a family doctor for a number of years. So he's quite well known by her and her family.
I see, that makes sense.
I'm actually quite concerned because it seems like she has more than one suitor at the moment.
Well, it seems like she has three, right? The lawyer, that weird American fellow, and the doctor.
Don't think the doctor's interested in her as a suitor as such. There's something else going on there. You remember the recording about the veins being key?
Mm-hmm.
True.
Yeah.
I tried to speak to her a bit earlier to find out if her family had an interest in unusual books or artifacts, in case that was somehow tied in with this, but although they have a library in the house, they don't seem to be much on one for collecting. So it could... I'm just wondering what the link could be then. Unless it's her.
Might be her.
I'm not sure. All I'm concerned about is Mr. Albananthe. He was going to propose to her, and it seems that he keeps getting interrupted.
Oh.
So I am planning on having a tea for her, and inviting her over. To maybe help convince her, because he is such a nice gentleman. But, I've an idea. I'll think about it.
Another party?
Just a tea. Just a tea, and I think your sister would quite enjoy it as well.
Very likely.
No. Is there anyone else you would like to talk to, or anything else you would like to do whilst at this party? Or would you just like to enjoy the good wine, the good drinks, and good company?
I think we probably should not stop here for too long, in light of the guest at your house, Miss Carter.
Then you should say your fond farewells.
It's probably for the best. And, well, I'll try and find my sister to let her know.
Oh, he's gone to speak. She's gone to speak with the Earl Grey.
Oh, I wouldn't want to disturb. Oh, or do I? Oh, I will. I mean, it's my sister after all. I can get away with things. And I'll just wander up to my sister.
And yes, and as I was saying, blah, blah, blah.
Oh, sorry to interrupt, Catherine.
Not interrupting at all, ever.
My friends and I are going to call it an evening. And
Oh, so soon.
I know,
Oh.
I've got to get up early, a lot of work to do.
Oh,
I'll start working on that translation for you.
he never knows how to relax. Well,
I'm sure there will be another party coming up soon. Miss Carter's mentioned something.
oh,
I believe you might be getting an invite for it.
well, I shall look forward to that. Look, indeed,
I
indeed.
don't know the details myself, but I'm sure there will be another party.
Yes. Sorry we didn't get a chance to talk. I feel like it's a long, long time since I've seen you. You probably don't remember me much. I've been away in America the last
Oh,
fair few years.
how's America been?
Oh, fine. Profitable.
I don't know a great deal about it other than there's a lot of space.
They're not exaggerating. Magnificent country for that. But yes, yeah. I won't bore you with that.
We shall have to catch up at some point.
Yes, yeah. Indeed.
But another party, and
Yes.
I'll just take my leave.
Okay. So as the four of you take your leave from this party, who has the lowest luck currently?
You won?
Was that 31?
51.
51? Okay. Any lower than a 35? Anyone lower than a 35? In which case, Morgan, on behalf of the group, would you kindly make me a luck roll, please?
Of course.
Okay. Duly noted. So, you return back to Grosvenor Square. house, most of the windows are dark. Only a couple of lights burning. And take the carriage around. Well, the carriage drops you off at the front of the house.
Is there a light on outside the door? And is there a light on inside the door?
Yes. James would have probably the windows might be dark for the rest of the house, but there's a lantern at the door and the gas lamps in the hall are lit. James would have his instructions. Lady Irene has departed elsewhere, like she's possibly still at the party. She had people to talk to. It's just the four of you return to the house. James lets you back inside. Welcome back.
It was an interesting evening.
Good evening.
Your coat. Would you like anything else before bed, Miss Carter? Any of your guests? Will you be staying overnight, or I can open up the guest rooms.
I think I'll be leaving.
I should return to my property. It's not that far away. But I may wish to check on our guest first.
That's fine. Mr. McCrashley, do you need a room?
Needs not, but with the guests, I think it will maybe be a little sure if I stay here.
That is fine.
That's a very good point, actually. I'll need to check on my shop to make sure no one's broken in, trying to acquire a copy of that book. So I could always return to stay here, if necessary, in case I need to sedate the guest further.
That's fine. That won't be too much trouble, James.
I think I'm gonna ask a couple of questions to my brother. He's got a couple of he's do no good, and he might know where he would have hidden, maybe. And can I leave my good clothing here? It's not something that I can feasibly store at home. Not it's not staying in that sort of state if I'm doing that.
We can have it cleaned for you, yes, and then you can, once you have the situation settled, then you can collect it.
Sure, I'm not sure if I'm getting in the situation where I can settle that situation, but if I do, sure.
We never know. And I'll come close to you, and I give you a little money. Laddie, I want you to take a carriage to wherever you go, because I don't want something happening to you tonight, all right?
I'll look at the bill and nod and put it in my pocket. Get my let's say inconspicuous clothing back, and I'll leave.
Morgan, was there something you wanted to speak to me about? You asked me to remind you, or should we deal with that tomorrow?
Oh, you can wait. Don't worry. It's nothing important, but just want to ask you a few questions and maybe give you some information as well.
No problem at all.
Let's see our little guest then.
Okay, Keeper, I believe we're checking on the guest quickly.
Okay, so you head down to the coal cellar, unlock the door, and you find yourself staring at a heap of coal, a ripped straitjacket, a sack, and a conspicuous absence of person. What you also see is, looks like moonlight, or at least I can't remember the phase of the moon at the moment. Let's say for now, moonlight coming down through the broken hatch that would be used to fill the coal cellar with coal.
I'll be damned.
Looks as if he got out.
Damn it. Okay. I'll still staying. We'll never know if he's still around. If it's all right for everyone.
That's fine. I had James already. He should be having the room set up for you.
Cheers. So, are you, Doctor? Are you coming back, or you staying at your shop? Now that he left.
I'm going to check my shop and then I'm going to come back.
All right.
Just to make sure the guest hasn't broken in.
Don't go alone.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking about. That actually, if I let you, you know what, Miss Carter, you have two big laddies with you. You have two servants here.
At least.
At least, okay. Try to have one near your corridor. We never know. Near your room. To come as much as possible in the corridor near your room. We never know. And Mr. Davenport, Dr. Davenport, sorry, if it's good for you, I'll join you. I'll come with you to the shop.
No problem. It's best to be on the safe side. You never know.
Yep.
So, Keeper, I'm guessing we're heading out that way.
Okay, so you're heading back to the shop.
Just mainly to make sure it hasn't been broken into.
Okay. So you head back over to the shop. And you arrive. The shop looks completely fine. There is no sign of anyone having broken in. The door's still locked as you left it. The note, it's been... I think it was probably the end of the day when you left the shop, so I don't think your assistant would have been in. So the note is still on the desk where you left it.
Yeah, I'd send her away for the afternoon, I think, to have the afternoon off.
Yeah, the place is undisturbed.
In which case, as long as it's all still locked up, I'll There's something I'm thinking of doing, I'm not sure.
Are you saying this out loud?
Well, you'll be able to tell I'm thinking.
You have something in mind, Doctor?
There's a book I probably shouldn't leave here. So,
take it with you then.
I'm going to get my copy of, I'm trying to think what it's called now. The Mythos book I have.
Yes, your little Latin book.
I'm gonna pick that up and take it with me.
Okay. Always carry your book with you.
I'm gonna keep that with me when we leave.
Okay. So as you know what, I think it's fair enough to do this now. As you go rummaging around to dig out this book, it's been sort of percolating in the back of your mind ever since ever since the things started happening, that,
Yes.
this book, when you first read it, you dismissed the contents of this book as pure nonsense. As you go to pick it up now, as you're thinking more on the fact that, there's possibly a little bit more to this than that you first thought. And you've translated this book from the Latin, so you're familiar with its contents. Right? You've been over in great detail. You have read all of it.
I know this book off by heart. I've read it through. I translated
and
it.
to its instructions to, involving instructions to summon and binding demons and creatures and transferring your mind, all sorts of things that you did not deem possible until you saw what you saw. And as your hand closes, you pick up this book to tuck it away. The full realization that everything you read in that book may in fact be real.
Yep.
The deities and entities mentioned may be true. The spells, the incantations, I mean, you've seen what Maddie can do.
That's true.
Perhaps what you've read in that book is what she can do, the truth of twisting the world around you and the minds of others. And I need you to roll me 2d6 here, because this, you have now become a believer, and or enough to say, you know that there's truth to what you read, and you are somehow surprisingly okay with this, because out of 2d6 double ones, you lose 2 points of sanity, you lucky bastard.
I could have been so bad. I was expecting to roll a double 6.
You lucky bastard.
I'm jealous.
Yes. And I will, if you like, I can add some of what you read in that book to your sheet.
Is this going to be...
It's up to you whether you want it to be added or not. It's basically, do you ever foresee you ever having any intention of trying to cast spells?
Of course, this is Call of Cthulhu.
Okay, I will add it to your sheet.
Is this going to be... Because I've actually got a copy of the Keeper's Guide, I think, as well.
I'm making some changes to...
That's okay.
The Keeper's Guide, I don't always use the same suggested spells.
No problem. I'll go with what you put.
So I'll put...
And of course I wouldn't...
Right.
It's very unlikely I'd know things like sanity loss and stuff like that.
No. I do put the prices of them on there roughly, I think, for the spells, but yeah, I tweak the spell content. More
I was
spells,
expecting that to go
spells,
so
more
bad.
people with spells. What can possibly go wrong? Franco and Morgan, I'm sorry for your future. Looks like you're going to be surrounded by sorcerers, and that is not a place to be. They're not good people to be around.
We signed for this.
Yeah. But as Mortimer collects his book and tucks it away for future knowledge. Franco, you said you were going to see your brother Henry, who... It sounds like he's a bit of a ne'er-do-well, right? I can't remember what's his actual...
He never got, my sister and I got jobs when we left the orphanage. He didn't, and therefore he needed different ways to get food.
Yeah.
What I don't know, I can't
He acquires items and redistributes them at times.
Exactly.
But, you head over to his lodgings. It's not a full house. We're talking like... Probably not even a full room.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
barely shelter.
Yeah. Franco,
Hey.
what are you doing here this time of night? You in trouble? Do we need to
Maybe?
punch someone again?
No, I don't think so. I might need, and I'll pull out the key we took from the guy. Might need to find out where this fits.
God, that could open anything.
Yeah, think so too. But it's from somebody that I think needs to hide. So that should, get it a bit smaller. I have no clue in what I got there.
It's
But either it's a scoop that sets me for life, or it's a scoop that sets me for life.
be careful. Don't get yourself killed following a lead. Like,
Yeah. I'm not intending to.
this is a key to a railway shed.
A
I don't know
railway
which
shed.
one, but see that little there on the end? It's Metropolitan Rail Company. It's must be one of their buildings somewhere near one of the stations or something.
Oh.
I don't know which one, but yeah.
I mean, that's helpful. That's really helpful. And I'll put the bills that Morgan just gave me. I'm not gonna give it to him. I'm just gonna hide them in his room. Trying to not be noticed doing that.
Oh, you're trying not to let him notice you?
Yeah, I'm not trying to let him notice that I'm leaving money at his place.
Give me a stealth check here, please. Or, unless sleight of hand's a thing, I can't remember if it is in this game.
It is sleight of hand, so I guess...
Oh, I'll make this stealth or sleight of hand, your choice.
I'll try stealth, because sleight of hand is not really my forte. Oh. Easy.
You have hidden the money very well.
And he's well, we'll see. I'll hit the money in his room, and then I'll thank him for his help, and make sure that I'll leave. Need to get to bed. But I'll with that information, I'll walk. I'm half on my way back. I will think. That's information. If something happens now, that's lost information. I'm just turning around and moving back to the LAS.
Okay. So Mortimer and Morgan, were you, after visiting the bookshop, did you say you were heading back to Grosvenor Square?
Yep.
Okay. In which case, for the sake of simplicity, let's say that all three of you arrive back at the house about the same time. And by now, honestly, it's probably getting on for like midnight. Like, it's late. You've been to a party, you've traipsed around the city a bit. Is Maddie still up? Or is Maddie...
Yes, Maddie is still awake. She has all of the gas lights in the hallway lit on her her hallway. And the lights to the foyer are also lit. And she is pacing back and forth in the lit hallway.
Oh.
She is dressed in her sleeping gown and a dressing robe, or a dressing gown. So she plans on, once she leads them to their rooms, she will go into her room, lock her room, and then go to sleep with her room lit.
Well, as I'm arriving, and Mr. Davenport and Mr. McCrashley are arriving at the same time, I'm not going to even enter the building. I'm just going to wave to them and walk directly up to them. I came back. I met my brother and let him have a look at and I pulled out the key. And let him have a look at this. This is a railway card key. I'm not sure. We don't know which one, but that's very much that's a very good lead. I didn't want to leave it at my state, at my place. I'm really nervous. I'm like, this might be important. I just want to give it back to you before I go home. I'll just give it Mr. McCrashley. Be like,
You're not stopping here then?
oh no. I think I still want to do something. I might get late though, and I don't want to wake up people if I wouldn't have come back if it wasn't for me deeming that very important info.
At least now we know about that key, we've got somewhere to search tomorrow.
Exactly.
And Miss Carter wanted to visit the cemetery for some reason, so...
Before we go there, I think we need to pass my office, get a few things.
Okay.
So,
I think that's likely to be good night then.
Yes,
Yeah,
that
good
sounds
night.
like a good night. So as you
Good night.
all head to your respective beds, unless anyone has anything else they want to do before sleep claims them.
Yeah, I would not have told the others, but I would have gone and taken a look at the Vane's estate.
Okay, so you're heading off to the Vane's estate in the small hours of the morning /
Yep.
middle of the night on your own without telling anyone else.
Smart move, I know.
Okay. So how are you getting there? Are you taking a cab or are you walking? This will affect
Just-
how long it takes.
Just on foot. A cab would be hearable, and I'd rather not be noticed, especially not if I'm not wearing like gentleman's clothes, but
Okay, so it's
poor
probably
people.
going to take you about an hour to walk there.
Yeah, 1 a.m. Perfect time.
So, in the absolute middle of the night, you'll find yourself walking up through what is at the time probably the outskirts of London. You can see the rise of Hampstead Heath. You pass around through the streets in this part, on the edge of London. You actually probably pass by the same gateway Maddie was at earlier. The gateway to Highgate Cemetery. Not far from the Vane's house, actually. The house itself overlooks the edge of the cemetery. The house is dark, not a single window lit. The gate at the front appears locked, and there's a stone wall surrounding the grounds.
There's no guard around the night, nothing.
It doesn't appear to be, no.
I will, to make sure that no one watches, I'll take a look around.
Doesn't appear to be anyone around. It's 1 a.m.
It's 1 a.m. Yeah, that's the point. And I'll try to climb the wall.
Alright. I'm going to ask for a climb roll here. See how well you get over this wall. Whether you...
This is too high.
Okay, so I'm going to say you realise this is a high wall. You can push on with this to push this roll, and then the risk here will be if you fail the push roll, you're going to fall off this wall.
Yeah, it's not. I'm not good enough at that.
I mean, it's not a hugely high wall, but you're definitely, going to hurt yourself a bit if you fall off it.
That's true. That's fine. I'll just push it. In worst case, I'll fall off.
Okay. Roll.
It's late. Nobody's gonna notice.
That's still a failure. So you manage to clamber your way up the top of this wall, and then your foot slips on the wet stone at the top, and you go crashing down into the shrubbery on the other side. And it's only going to be a 1d4 here. This is not a massively high wall.
Head first.
Oh, yeah, no, I think it's like crunch as your ankle hits the ground, like land funny on an ankle, manage to hit an elbow. You've somehow managed to cause yourself as much injury as possible by falling off this wall. Like, you've just landed incredibly badly and scraped by bushes. But you're inside the Vane estate.
I'll change position as quickly as possible and then hide in case somebody heard. And if nothing moves or changes afterwards, I'd go on.
How long are you waiting for?
A quarter of an hour.
Okay, so you sit in the damp. You see the flicker of a light in the window of the house. And then like, the flicker of a lantern, like as someone opens the front door, like, holds up a light, looks around the immediate vicinity of the front door.
I'll try to
I'm going to ask for a stealth roll here to see if you are better at hiding than the person looking for you. Is that...
Come on. Roll 20 doesn't let me today. Just not feasible.
You have luck to spend?
That's true.
Yeah.
That's a 21
I'll say
luck.
if you can make this as a success, it'll be their success. And you will not be spotted. It's up to you whether you want to use your luck for this or not.
Could I push it? That went well last time.
Yes, you can push this. And if...
Noticing that...
I was going to say here, you're pushing it by like burrowing your way backwards further into these bushes, closer to the wall. And if you fail this push roll, something bad's going to happen.
Yeah.
Something really bad.
It's going to be great.
Oh, that's an extreme success. You'll never know what the really bad thing was now. That's awful.
Yeah, I kind of sad, but kind of glad.
Oh, but I'll say with an extreme success, as you burrow yourself backwards in this undergrowth, these rhododendron bushes. And you watch as the lantern light recedes, as the person looking out goes back inside the house. You hear the front door shut. As you're burrowed back in the bushes, you can feel something underneath you. It seems that actually you've sort of pushed your way back in the bushes, that hidden underneath these rhododendron bushes, like back up against the wall, seems to be some kind of vent or grating for some sort of underground room. So, sort of underneath your foot, like hidden right up against the wall underneath these bushes, is some sort of iron grate, half clogged with leaves.
I'll turn around.
It's not big enough to climb down. It looks to be just a little vent.
I'll go and shove away the leaves. Probably not seeing anything down there.
You can't see. It's complete darkness around there. But I will offer you here a listen check.
I will definitely take that. That's a hard one.
You can't see anything. You can hear something. The sound sort of echoing up this vent from below. It's a sound. It's a scrape sound, and then this something shuffling and moving, heavy breathing sort of echoing in the stone space. And then a ripping sound, like the sound of teeth tearing through flesh. And the gnawing, grinding of teeth. And Franco, could you give me a little sanity check, please?
Pets.
Whatever it is, you're surprisingly okay with it. But there's definitely something down there.
Okay. I think this would be a very clear sign that Franco should not continue this adventure on his own. Looking at the wall, really not wanting to fall off on the other side again, he tries to look at the gate and try to open that and try to pick the lock if necessary.
Well, yeah, if you want to get out of this, roll me a locksmith.
At least the best bet at that and climbing, but well, I'm gonna use the necessary 13 luck for that.
You are?
Yeah.
So even with your hands sort of cold and slightly numb from sitting in the dark, in the cold for so long, you've managed, with some luck, to open this lock and slip out the gates.
Close it behind me. It's time for bed. It's been a long night.
Yes, you head off,
Limping.
limping
Yeah.
into the night. And I think that is probably a good place to end for tonight.